So welcome everyone. Thank you for joining us. I am Andrea with Bambiz Marketing, and today we're going to be talking with Vanessa, the President and Director of Content Development for Interactive Legal. She received her law degree from Cornell Law School. She practiced in New York and her hometown of Wichita, Kansas for several years before joining Interactive Legal in 2013. And in her current position, she oversees the development of program content as well as guiding the company in its future direction and managing day-to-day operations. And we have Scott joining Vanessa today. He is the principal behind Elder Law College. He's a Florida Bar certified specialist in elder law and also operates an elder law practice in South Florida. He has held leadership positions in various industry associations, including the Florida Bar Elder Law Section, AFELA, the Florida State Guardianship Association, NALA, as well as many others. And thank you both for being here with us today. I'd just like to get started with asking you to each tell us a little bit more just about who you are, maybe how you got into this field, and then share a little bit about your organization. So we can start with you, Vanessa.
Great. All right. Well, thanks so much, Andrea, for having us on. I'm excited to be here with Scott, who is somebody I've gotten to know recently and somebody I respect a great deal, both personally and in what he does professionally. So this is a great opportunity. So as you mentioned, my name is Vanessa Kanaga. I'm the President and Director of Content Development for Interactive Legal. I started out practicing in the Trust and Estates Department of Milbank Tweed in New York, and was there for several years, had the honor of working with Jonathan Blottmacher, who I'm sure many of your viewers will recognize that name, and also practiced at Moses and Singer in New York, and then moved back to my hometown of Wichita, Kansas. And I was working at a law firm there, the Hinkle Law Firm, when Jonathan Blottmacher called me just out of the blue and said, you know, I have this software company, which I'll talk about in a moment, and I would love for you to come work for us. We're looking for a new content attorney. And at the time, I think he had asked me to move to Dallas, where the CEO, Mike Graham, is located. And I said, oh, I just moved, you know, sorry, that not a good time. And then he called me back several months later and said, well, actually, you could work from home and, you know, you could work remotely. And so would you like to come work for us? And I said, absolutely, I wouldn't turn down that opportunity. So that was in 2013. I've been with the company ever since. Really enjoyed working on the content of our documents in our drafting system, and then had the honor of becoming the president of the company last year. So Interactive Legal, for those who don't know, we are a knowledge and resource company for elder law and estate planning attorneys. We provide practical solutions primarily through our drafting software. We have an elder law program and an estate planning program known as wealth transfer planning. And our goal is really just to provide attorneys in those fields with tools that can help them practice efficiently and accurately, and give them the confidence to deal with the clients that will walk in their door in whatever situation is presented to them, and they can handle it, whether it's through our excellent documents in our drafting system or our other resources such as our subscriber forum, which is very active, or the other materials in the knowledge base in our online resources. So that's a little bit about me and Interactive Legal.
And you serve attorneys coast to coast, right? All 50 states?
That's correct. Yes. Thank you for mentioning that. Yeah, we are all through the United States. We comply with the law of every state.
Perfect. Okay. And Scott, go ahead.
Hi, Andrea. Thanks for having me here, and it's nice to be here, especially with Vanessa Kanaga. I help run Elder Law College, and our organization helps lawyers to transition into the field of elder law or to reach a greater proficiency in the field of elder law. And I'll show you how I got there, how this all started. And it was because of really a sharp turn I took in my life. When I graduated law school, I got caught up in the third year rat race, which is who's going to get the best job, who's going to get the biggest signing bonus. It's not why I went to law school, but that's what ended up happening to me. So I took that job with Alpert, Josie, Grilly, and Hughes in Tampa doing securities litigation at a fancy office, was making more money than I ever thought I would make. It wasn't that much money, but at the time, it seemed like quite a bit. But I saw while I was there that, first of all, I had only one human being client most of the time. It was working for dealers, broker dealers, and that kind of thing. But the lawyers that were ahead of me were coming in when it was dark out and leaving when it was dark out. And they had children and they had spouses, many of them. And I wasn't there yet, but I saw that that's not what I wanted for my life, nor was I getting the fulfillment that I wanted out of that particular type of work, even though it was intellectually interesting. So my father, meanwhile, was practicing helping elderly people. That's really all I knew. And I asked him if I could take my 2-week vacation in his office. And he said, I'd love to. So I sat there in his office as he helped family after family with some of the most core human issues that you could help with. My spouse is dying. My spouse has Alzheimer's disease. My mother has running out of money and she needs care. Really tough familial issues, and it spoke to me. So I quit my job. I took a pay cut of about 70% and went to work with my dad, and the rest is history. He was the first generation of elder law attorneys. Wrote the first book on elder law and co-founded most of the organizations that exist today for elder law. So I had an incredible teacher who was vested in my success. Most lawyers don't have that, and I never take it for granted. Elder Law College is really a result of my father teaching me that you give back to the bar. He had lawyers coming into his office all of the time and would train them and give them his documents. So Elder Law College, a longer story, but the bottom line is, together with a law office consultant and a management professional, we started the company. And it's really taken off, and we've helped transition many lawyers, change their lives and get them out of practices that they didn't want to be in. And it's exciting for me. That the issue is trying to put together a program that helps those lawyers succeed.
Absolutely, and there's such a huge need for that. And now tell us a little bit about the relationship between Interactive Legal and Elder Law College, and what drove you guys to actually start working together.
Vanessa, you want to take that?
Sure, yeah, I'd be glad to. Well, I was thinking as I was listening to Scott talk, I was thinking, well, first of all, who wouldn't want to work with Scott and Elder Law College after hearing that story? I mean, I've heard it a few times now, and every time I still am amazed by it. One of the things that Scott said to me that really impressed me, the first call that we had together, was that he wanted to provide a father in the practice. And that really spoke to me. And part of the reason it really spoke to me is because we had noticed for the last couple of years at Interactive Legal that with respect to the subscribers to our elder law program, unlike the estate planning subscribers that we have who have kind of a built-in network. I mean, that practice has existed for a long time. Estate planners tend to be in bigger firms, not all of them, but they tend to be in bigger firms with people that they can turn to as resources. And there's just a lot of resources out there for estate planners to help them get up and running and kind of mentor them in the practice when they're first getting started. There wasn't much in the way of that mentorship and sort of lead into the practice for elder law attorneys, available as a resource for elder law attorneys. And we had a lot of people who were subscribing to our elder law program and quite frankly were saying, I'm sure these are great documents that I have access to here, but I don't know where to turn to. I don't know this is the first elder law client I've had. I'm not sure what I'm doing here, so I don't know where to start with these documents. And so we saw this real need for education, and not just CLE, but education and how do you learn the substantive law? Where do you go to find the substantive law? What are the topics that you need to be looking at in order to really get up and running in an elder law practice? How do you run your practice? Some of those practical issues as well. Because elder law attorneys, we've also found, tend to be the solo practitioners or at smaller firms, and they really need those additional resources, the very practical resources in addition to the substantive education. And so this was a need that we had seen for, like I said, the last couple of years. And we were trying to figure out the best way to serve the needs of our subscribers by providing that education and mentorship. And we could do it in-house. We thought about that, certainly, but we thought, is that really the best way to meet this need? You know, there's only so much we can do with our resources. You know, we would be starting from scratch, whereas there's got to be something else out there that we could partner with, some organization that we could partner with to help bring quality education and resources to people getting started in the field of elder law. And it was through a mutual colleague, actually, that we were introduced to Scott and his business partner, Jan, and we started talking, and I'll let Scott carry on from there because I think they had a very similar story, but sort of in the reverse. They're the mirror image of us.
It's exactly right. Yeah, it's really amazing that we met. It's like, you know, and I see now that when companies meet, it's like mates meeting. You know, you have to fill that gap for the other. And for us, we spent a lot of time developing a curriculum that was going to work. Our focus was solely on education and making a program, a 3.5-day boot camp style program that would allow lawyers to go back to their office on Monday and be able to start taking clients, believe it or not. And that's a challenge. But if you set it up the right way and then have ongoing support with, you know, we created, for example, our member portal with documents and videos and instruction, and then monthly check-in calls and an incredibly active tutorial listserv where people can post their fact patterns and get help. We had all of that. What we didn't have was a document assembly program that provided solutions for all 50 states via forms, but not that type of system. We knew we were missing it. We knew that our people wanted it, were asking for it. And so we were looking for the best solution. And frankly, there are a number of those solutions out there, but we consider ourselves the quality and what we're doing. And we wanted somebody of that type of quality that had a similar culture of wanting to succeed because their members succeeded. Interactive Legal had already established, how long had Interactive Legal, did it start, Vanessa? How long ago?
It's been through a few different progressions, but in one form or another since 2003, I believe.
I mean, I had known of it as the ultimate estate planning software, that this is where the best lawyers would go to get their documents. And to think of that in elder law context for us, it was really a gift. And so I'm very, very pleased to be with them. And then the organization itself with Vanessa and others, it's good people, and that matters. That shows to our members.
Okay, great. So if someone makes the investment in Interactive Legal, say, and they join, Vanessa, tell us briefly, what are the first couple of things they can expect to see improve at their firm?
Sure. Well, I think that what I always say is what you're improving is your efficiency and your accuracy. Certainly there's an investment of time when you first get started. You have to learn the software and learn the best way that it fits within your firm, because every firm is a little bit different in how they use any tool, but in how they use our system. But once you get up and running with it, you're able to draft documents more efficiently, faster. You're not spending all of your time working through the technical details of drafting, trying to search and find, search and replace. Scott and I were talking about that the other day, the hunt and peck method of finding a document that you did for a previous client. I mean, I've been through this before. I need to draft a will with a Clayton Q-tip, and it has, long-term trusts for kids in it. Who did I do that for last? Oh, let me go find that document. I've got to change the names, make sure I take out that special gift of, the painting that they had in there. And you've got to make sure that you're reviewing it carefully to ensure that it meets the needs of this client that you're working on now. And a lot of attorneys draft that way. Like I said, I used to draft
scary.
that
That's almost a little scary. Like, well, you could miss something very easily.
Right. And we've all heard and seen, hopefully not created the horror stories that, that result from that. So, you're able to draft those documents more quickly. You don't have to go and search for the last document. You have it right at your fingertips. You're starting fresh every time, but you've got the forms there ready to go for you. And you're not running into that scary situation. You're increasing your accuracy because you're not worried about, oh, did I leave somebody's name in the document? Did I leave, some reference to their tangible property in the document? You're starting fresh, clean, but you've got everything you need right there to get up and running. And we're very fortunate to have some really loyal subscribers who will speak out on our behalf, and they are our best promoters and cheerleaders. And what I hear them saying, maybe not in so many words, but when I hear them talk about why they like interactive legal, what I hear them saying is that they get to spend more time talking to their clients and coming up with creative solutions for the issues that their clients are facing, and less time on the technical drafting. They're not spending time at their desks coming up with, how do I draft this clause to make sure that it works correctly? They're providing the solutions for their clients, which I think is why most of us went into the field of law in the first place.
That's great. Well, and what a lot of our clients are doing is they are spending time in the community. Primarily, most of our clients use us for workshops, for potential clients where they'll go out and speak, in community centers or the library or restaurants or different places like that. And that does, require a time commitment to be away from the office. So it sounds like with some of these systems that you offer that they would be getting that time back, and giving them
Yeah,
more.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
sure. It allows you to process a volume of matters, which of course increases revenue, but you can do it with confidence that you're doing it accurately and really providing a good quality product for your client.
Okay, perfect. Well, you've both, of course, been in this field a while. So what's the number one piece of advice that you'd give, say, an estate planner that's thinking about adding elder law to their practice? What's some advice that you can give them to get started?
I would say don't be overwhelmed by all of the bubbles in the air. When you look at elder law, it can look overwhelming because you've got Medicare, Social Security, Medicaid, VA benefits, estate planning, all of these things all put together, asset protection planning, and it seems too much. But if you have a system and you say to yourself, what do I need to know right now? And then attack those issues in an order that makes sense. And that's what we've put together. Then it's doable, and you'll succeed. And the other thing I would say is don't let the perfect be the enemy of the good. Make it happen.
Gotcha. Okay. Vanessa, anything?
Yeah, we all fall prey to that sometimes. And if I could just add something to what Scott said, I just wanted to say that I had the privilege of attending the Elder Law College 360 conference earlier this year. And that was exactly my takeaway from it is, my background is in high net worth estate planning. So my first experience with elder law was through interactive legal. And I learned a lot in the several years that I've been with the company, but it's taken a lot to get there. And there's still so much that I don't know. And I have really never felt confident that I could just go out and open the door to an elder law practice if I wanted to do that, which I don't. But if I wanted to do that, that I could do that. But after attending the 360 conference, I really felt like I could, because I think it's that acknowledgement that you're not going to learn everything in one boot camp, in one immersion course. But what Scott does, what his team does, is they give you, like he said, the basics of what you need to know right now. And that helps to put you on that path to figuring out what else you need to learn, in what direction you want to take your particular practice in. And I think it's that acknowledgement that there is a lot out there, that it is overwhelming, but there is a place to start. I think that's really what the spark that Scott has and that his company has hit on is just, saying, look, it is overwhelming. There's a lot to learn here, but you can do it. You should feel confident that you can do this, and we'll give you the tools to do it. So that's why we're so happy to be working with them, because it's the first time that I had really felt like, oh, wow, if I attended this conference, I would feel this overwhelming sense of relief that I can do this. I can get started. I can be an elder law attorney.
And that's what happens on Sunday. You see these lawyers with this light bulb over their head and an aura that they haven't had for years. And it's so cool.
Well, since we've kind of touched on that, Scott, why don't you give us maybe just a very brief overview of kind of what do the 3 days look? It's a 3-day conference, correct?
3.5 days. It starts on a Thursday night with an overview of elder law. We call it Real People, Real Lives, because you get into so much detail, and we sometimes can forget that these are, people with children and grandchildren and immigrants and, it's hardworking people. And we talk about that and talk about the issues they face and what kind of things an elder law attorney does, and how lawyers in my field have now figured out how to make money, and good money, by doing good work. And so we address that the first night. And then we start off the second day with an estate planning overview, but an estate planning in the context of how we do it in elder law, focusing on the lifetime needs of our clients, as opposed to what happens after death, although we deal with that too. Then we deal with special needs planning, Medicare, Social Security, and then that's enough for one day. It takes us into the next day. And by the way, we break and we have fun and we do other things, because the way we learn as adults requires sometimes shifting gears a little bit. And there's some of that science built into the program. I won't ruin it by telling you the kinds of fun things that we do together, but it's fun.
That's funny. That reminds me, I attended a conference one time and they actually put Play-Doh on the table, and they said adults do very well learning when they have things to do with their hands. And so they gave us Play-Doh, and I'm like, this is actually pretty good.
Yeah, I will give a little spoiler and say there is some hands-on activity that goes on at the 360 conference. So just to put that out there, if you're looking for that, you will not be disappointed. That's all I'm going to say.
I mean, I don't want to sidetrack too much, but I'll have to say that there are some members that say they go back home, that's the first thing they talk about, or the activities they did. And the spouse says, that's what you left us for 4 days? But it actually is by design. I mean, there really is some truth to what Vanessa just said. And what you just said, Andrea, that adults learn better with Play-Doh in their hands, or whatever it is that you're working with. So we go on from there and we learn about how you put it all together into a deliverable to the client, where you can learn about Medicaid planning and different approaches with the healthcare laws and how rehabilitation works, sheltering assets in a way that's legal and ethical to help protect people, middle class, upper middle class people, as they move into the long-term care system, which is otherwise financially catastrophic. I mean, it'll wipe people out. So we do that. We show them how to deliver a product, a package to the client with predetermined documents that are includable in a package to the client with the documents, and with instructions. And we talk about pricing. We talk about marketing. We put it all together. And it's a lot of information, but it really is true that on Sunday, when it comes all together, it's just beautiful to see. And many of our members, they are our best salespeople. And if you go onto the website, you'll see them talking about their experience, how maybe they were family law attorneys doing commercial litigation or insurance defense, and how things have really helped. You see the people that have just come through the program, and you see people that are a year or 2 years in and doing elder law, and it's really rewarding.
Definitely a feel-good area of the law. Yeah, so love that.
And you make money. You get a hug and a check.
It's even better. So as we wrap up here, where would an attorney go? We'll start with you, Vanessa, if they wanted to learn more about interactive legal and how to get started.
Well, sure. I would definitely start with our website, interactivelegal.com. You'll find lots of information about the document assembly systems, as well as additional resources if you're looking for some blogs or articles or our roundtable webinars. You can access them there, and you can click on a spot for a demo to go ahead and get a demo scheduled if you're interested. They can also email info@interactivelegal.com, and that will go to our customer service and sales department so we can get you started that way. But start with the website.
Okay, perfect. And how about with you, Scott? If someone wanted to learn more about Elder Law College, or maybe sign up for an event, where would they go to learn more?
Same here, elderlawcollege.com, and you can watch videos about what we do, sign up for the next program if you're interested, and get some articles and get a sense of what it's like to be an elder law attorney.
Okay, so you both, it sounds like, have a lot of resources on your websites as well that people can get, for free with kind of just to learn a little bit more before making that commitment.
Yeah, absolutely. And I also just wanted to mention, Andrea, if you don't mind, that we are working together. Interactive Legal is going to be at the next 360 conference, which is coming up next week as we speak. It won't be next week by the time your viewers see this, but as we speak, it's next week. And we are going to be sort of tying the drafting software into the education that Scott offers during the program. And then in the future, if hopefully everyone will stay posted, we are working on putting together sort of a package offering that will offer people the best value for what both of our organizations have to offer. So just to put that out there, and hopefully everybody will keep posted and be on the lookout for that.
Definitely.
I might just say that.
How frequently are the Elder Law College events as well?
We do 3 to 4 a year all over the country.
Okay.
This next one's in Denver, and they'll leave one after that perhaps the viewers would be able to attend is Orlando in February. We have, so that's 3 to 4 times a year, and then we do an advanced program as well.
Oh, great. So, all right, well, that pretty much wraps up what I've got. Any last words you want to add?
Scott, I'll let you add anything you'd like to.
Just say I'm excited about the interaction with Interactive Legal, and that is largely due to our members now being able to get a 50-state solution to their documents. It's huge, and to be able to put them together in the right way without one document spelling the name this way. And I have to admit that I've been practicing for 25 years, and we do sometimes make those mistakes where one document will have a different spelling of a name, and it drives me absolutely crazy until we moved into a document assembly solution. And of course, then everything is uniform. That means if you spelled it wrong one time, it spells it wrong every time.
Yes, it does require good input, but yeah, that's absolutely right. Well, and we're really excited about our interaction as well, because it really is going to provide the best solution for both of our members, and we just enjoy working together, and I think that's going to come through in what we're ultimately able to offer to the public as well.
Okay, perfect. Well, thank you, Vanessa and Scott, for being here with us today. We appreciate your time, and we will make sure we share the information with everyone on how to learn more about each of your organizations. We appreciate it again. Thank you so much.
Thanks so much, Andrea.